I'm here with my brother Morris Wilkes, and we are brothers, aren't we?
Absolutely.
We're part of the family
Absolutely.
of God, and have been brothers since 1997.
97.
We just did this group with Chris Edwards, and the three of us were at that meeting where there were 32 couples, all brought together, really divinely brought together. That organization,
Absolutely.
how they assembled us. And then we all found out that we weren't weird. We weren't peculiar. We were all sharing our faith. It's just that we're not the only ones doing it. Every person, every man and every wife, 64 people in that gathering over that 2.5-day period started explaining how they are having so much fun sharing their faith. Wasn't that amazing?
It was. And it was an eye-opener. I think it was an eye-opener for you.
Yeah, it was.
Obviously, it was for me and
Absolutely.
others.
Absolutely.
That there is something to this. There is more than just doing our churchly duties and responsibilities.
Which are important.
It's very important.
Yeah, we want to honor our pastors and do the work. The
Absolutely.
church can't survive without us giving sacrificially
Absolutely.
in time and resources. you know.
And that we can go, as you say, outside the walls of the church and have an impact on the lives of individuals every day.
Every day. Every day.
It's exciting. and what comes back to you when you do that
Yeah.
is pretty powerful. When you look at what this is, when we say being a Christian, it's a relationship. It's a relationship. It's all relational, Barry. And when we turn that the other way and we become relational with other people, we can have that impact on them that we may never know about. One of these days, we may be sitting on a curb on a street of gold and find out things that we did that had an impact that we never knew.
Guaranteed. We'll hear throughout eternity people coming up and say, you know when you did so and so? Really?
Really, I
had
forgot.
no idea.
Well, that has happened to me. That has happened to me. I have had young people come up years later and said, "You said something to me one time that has impacted my life, and I almost think about it every day, and I don't even remember it.
The conversation.
Don't even remember it." But when that happens, there's kind of a spark in your soul that goes, wow, and I didn't even know it.
Yes.
So what are you doing today with everybody that crosses your path? Are you sensitive
Yes.
to the people that
preach it,
God
Barry.
puts
Preach it, Barry.
into your pathway, Barry? I was sitting in church back in probably the mid-1980s, and the minister of the church gets up and says, "Well, I'm not going to do the sermon today. We have a special guest." So I'm thinking, well, there's another minister coming in. No, it was a businessman from the Midwest, a businessman. And he gets up and starts talking about how you can do things in your daily life and in your work life and in your social life and in your playtime, out on the golf course or on the tennis court or whatever it is you do for fun, out on the boat, to influence other folks. And I specifically remember sitting there thinking,
A layman at the pulpit
I can do that.
telling you
I can do
you're a
that.
full-time minister.
And so that's what we want you to understand.
Yes.
That's why there's this website, Revival Outside the Walls,
That's right.
so that you can say and see and hear that this applies to me.
Yeah.
This applies to everyone. So who do you know?
Absolutely.
Who are you going to come in contact with today?
You have no idea.
You have no idea. And what kind of impact that you can make. And you know that the interesting thing is that Barry McGuire and Morris Wilkes can walk down the street side by side, and we can encounter a whole bunch of people. And there are people that you will encounter that you can have an influence on that I would never have an influence on because we have a different skill set.
Isn't that something?
And that's the beauty of it
Different
is
personas,
God puts the people into our pathways that we can have an influence on.
Absolutely right.
And he may put
Absolutely
that
right.
same person in Barry's pathway, but Barry may not be able to
We each have
turn
our
the
spheres
key.
of influence. And you know what? Even street people have spheres of influence. It doesn't matter your station in life.
That's right.
We all have influence, and God has given us that influence to use for His glory, to love people.
Well, and
Love
that's
people
that's
under
the
our influence.
exciting thing about it is when you see someone, when you can have an influence on somebody's life, God loves that person just as much as He loves you, and that's the beauty of it.
Yes.
Well, I look at it from a sense of the story of David and Goliath in the Bible. Is the Israeli army saw Goliath, and they were scared because he was too big. But here comes little David, and he saw Goliath, and he said, wow, Goliath's too big. I can't miss. I can't miss. He's too big.
Exactly.
And that's the circumstances that we find ourselves, is that it's too big, we can't miss.
That's right. Morris Wilkes, Lubbock, Texas, the great state of Texas.
Absolutely.
You're just a giant of a man in my life, my dear friend. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Barry.